Cliche Your Way Through Life. Remix by Sierra Ward. Where there's a will, there's a way. Value, faith. For we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. Faith is the quiet strength that keeps you moving when the path isn't clear. This chapter is about trusting that the vision placed inside you wasn't random. It's part of your assignment. Faith isn't just about believing things will work out. It's about knowing. It's about surrendering control, showing up anyway, and trusting that even when you can't see the full picture, you're still being led. My own journey, trusting the way forward. When I finished writing the original book in June of 2023, I thought I had reached the end of the road. Another goal checked off the list. Write a book, complete. But in a quiet moment, full of exhaustion and doubt, I felt that familiar whisper. God said, "It's not finished." It wasn't loud, but it was clear. That nudge made my stomach drop. I had already invested so much time, energy, and emotion. The idea of rewriting it felt overwhelming. I was tired. I wanted to be done, but deep down, I knew God was right. The work wasn't finished. There was more to say, more to reveal, more of me to pour into these pages. That moment of surrender reflected so many others in my life. Times where I didn't have the answers, when the path ahead was foggy and I had no map, only faith. But even when I couldn't see the next step, something inside of me always whispered, "Keep going." And that's the journey I'm still on. One of trust, surrender, and the will to continue even when the destination isn't clear. I've come to understand that the way forward isn't always about having the perfect plan. It's about having the will to move, the faith to believe, and the courage to keep showing up even in uncertainty. So yes, I rewrote this book, and honestly, I'm so glad I did, because this version isn't just more refined, it's more honest. It's me choosing to live what I know. It's me trusting that when there's a will and when there's God, there's always a way. When there's a will, there's always a way. Obstacles can feel like walls, immovable, frustrating. And when you're staring at a wall long enough, it's easy to believe there's no way through. But this truth stands. Where there's a will, there's a way. This isn't just about sheer determination. It's about faith. The kind of faith that doesn't always need to see the entire path because it trusts that God is guiding each step. The kind of faith that whispers. Keep walking. Even when your legs are tired. My will isn't just inner strength. It's divine alignment. It's knowing that even when I don't see the way forward, God has already made the path. Finding the way through faith. Faith becomes your compass when you can't find the map. And sometimes that compass leads you through loneliness, disappointment, and doubt. At first, it feels like you're off track, but those moments aren't detours. They're necessary stops. Loneliness may actually be the quiet you need to finally hear God. Disappointment might be protection, God blocking what you thought you wanted to make space for what's truly meant for you. In doubt, that's you walking without the full picture and trusting God anyway. I used to think I was walking by faith, but now I know I'm being carried. I have no idea where I'm going, but I trust God and I trust this journey. And the wildest part is I'm already exceeding my own expectations. And I know that God's plan is eternal. Letting go to move forward. One of the hardest parts of walking in faith is releasing what feels familiar. I've had to let go of relationships, habits, roles, and even outdated versions of myself. Letting go felt like loss, but it made room for better. What I didn't know at the time was that I wasn't just letting go, I was being loved forward. Because even when I didn't feel ready, I was still held. Even when I didn't feel worthy, I was still chosen. That's what unconditional love does. It doesn't wait for you to be perfect. It walks with you as you become. I had to stop trying to force my way through life and instead align with God's way. I had to learn that my will wasn't about control, it was about surrender. It was about staying open even when the road ahead felt uncertain. Because sometimes the way is revealed only after you decide to let go of what's been holding you back. Practical steps for strengthening your will. 1. Surrender to the bigger picture. Let go of the need to control the outcome. Write down a prayer or affirmation that reminds you to trust the unseen. 2. Stay faithful through frustration. When emotions rise, sit with them. Then journal one step you can take to move forward with grace. 3. Keep taking steps. Faith is not passive. Keep moving, even when it's slow. Every step in faith is a step in purpose. 4. Surround yourself with encouragement. Whether through community, books, music, or scripture, keep your space filled with voices that uplift your spirit. Faith as the will to keep going. Faith is what keeps the flame of willpower burning. It's the belief that the process has purpose, that what you're building is worth the slow days, the quiet seasons, and the unanswered prayers. It's the strength to walk with questions in your heart and still trust that you're on the right path. This journey will stretch you, challenge you, and sometimes break you open, but it's not to destroy you, it's to prepare you. Conclusion: the will to keep moving. Where there's a will, there's a way. Isn't just a motivational quote, it's a spiritual truth. When your will aligns with God's plan, the way always shows up. Maybe not right now, maybe not right away, maybe not how you pictured it, but it shows up. Faith doesn't remove the obstacle, it gives you the strength to move through them. If you're in a season where the path feels unclear, be encouraged. Keep trusting, keep walking, keep showing up. I could have ignored what I knew was God and kept chasing the next goal, but this season of my life has shown me something deeper. I'm not just walking by faith. I know I'm being carried, and I'm okay not seeing exactly where I'm going, because learning to live fully in the moment has given me a peace I can't even explain. You've felt some of that peace through these pages. Just know the will is already within you, and through faith, the way will always find you, because God's love won't just show you the way, it will carry you there. R&R, remix and reflect. Value, faith. Before you continue, take a moment to get quiet. Let your soul speak. Let your faith respond. Remix this truth. Faith isn't always loud. Sometimes it looks like showing up tired, unclear, or unsure, but showing up anyway. Where there's faith, there's a way. Reflect on this. 1. What vision or calling has been placed on your heart that you're still learning to trust? 2. What is one area of your life where you're being invited to surrender control and walk by faith? 3. What step can you take this week that says, I may not see the way, but I believe there is one? Truth to take with you. Faith doesn't promise the full picture. It gives you peace in the process. You're not walking alone. You're being carried. Try this. Write one sentence, prayer or affirmation that reminds you, even if I don't know how, I trust that God will. Let that truth be your anchor this week. From willpower to action, when words aren't enough. Believing is the start, but acting on that belief, that's where transformation happens. Faith without work is dead, and that's where we're headed next, because now it's time to live out what we say we believe.